to keep that body rubber side down.
Okay, this is what remains of Crèvecoeur's tower. He was a previous constable of the castle, and he would have been actively encouraging additional defences of the place to make it as strong as possible for anyone invading. And throughout the years, your invader would change, and the tactics and equipment that they had would differ. Just like it is now with modern warfare. So you've got to adapt. So they'd build these new things to overcome perceived threats. But these things would take ages to build. Ages. I mean, just the rock gathering alone would be just such an immense feat. And then getting the skilled labour to piece it all together into what we have 1,000 years later. And after 2 world wars, 100-year war, mentals, and absolutely fantastic. Here we got a trebuchet. It's not all wired up or anything, so not really very easy to work out how it all works, but they're quite clever little things for hurling rocks at big things like that. They'd have a counterweight and they'd have a rock, and the counterweight would be far heavier than the rock, and having that really long pole would add speed to the big rock that they were bunging, which would give it momentum in the hope to put dinks in the walls on the castle. Clever stuff. So this is God's Tower, and possibly a chamber block linked to a medieval hall. God's Foes Tower. Okay. Not much here, but a view, a windy view. We'll find somewhere else to have a little look out in a second. And then a World War II gun emplacement. Should have been another anti-aircraft gun on there. It's amazing, isn't it, that this castle has defended us for so long, and even into some of our largest, bloodiest conflicts of modern times. Sorry about the wind noise here. I can't really do much about that, but I really want you to see not just this building here, but the tower that's with it. It's incredibly impressive. This would be the Deputy Constable's office, I assume, judging by the gate there. Obviously closed up at the moment. I think actually it's a role that's held still, but I don't know. I love the fact that even inside the castle you've got these defences with arrow slits and doors which would be hard to get through, just in case hell broke loose and they actually got into the castle. So this has been constructed initially in 1220 to 1227, but then they added in 1883 an extension to it, and I want to show you that in a bit. So this is pretty damn awesome, quite grand, massive great gates with a portcullis, and I love portcullises. I really wish we had the ability to actually show you one here. Maybe another castle we'll come to will have that set up and I'll be able to show you how it works. But here again we've got these flat down we've got a flat down gate, so you can see the hinges. They've got their gate on it obviously, so that would have had the back doors, the portcullis, the flappy down door here, which would in turn pull up the drawbridge with the chain going across there to those slits down to the bottom of the drawbridge there, leaving a big old nasty gap to have to cross up here. So it's just incredibly well thought out. It's just so awesome, so awesome. So over there are the tunnels that we've just been down in. Quite fantastic to think, and you can imagine the murder that they'd be able to play on people that came down into that trench, into the moat. Now I don't know if the moat here was ever a water moat. I don't know if they did that, because they weren't all water moats. Some of them were just nasty trenches that were hard to get down and hard to get back up again. So this is Constable's Gate, and that's an impressive old thing there. Right, look at these archways. They're just absolutely amazing, and I think that's part of the extension there, where they linked up the two sides. I'd so love to be able to get up into those parts of the castle, but I think they're staffed areas. They've got curtains on them, I think, and stuff, so it's an area that's utilised. Oh, and again on this side, got the archway, and that wall, that's like a 3-storey wall going all the way around. Formidable, absolutely formidable, and each has got its own little arrow slots and little places to cause hell. Going all the way down there, which is a long old way down, and you not want to fight up that wall, you not want to fight up that slope. And there's a sheep, although it will run away if I go near it, I'm sure. So this is the Constable's Bastion, and I think Bastion is sort of like a abode or something, so he'd have possibly had himself a little house here that's now no longer here. It might not be a little house, it might be a defence or something. I don't know, I don't know. But there's sheep. Hello sheep, I'm going to leave you alone. But I bet he had a nice view from it if it was his house. It's a bit mean making him stay outside the castle walls though, eh? So this thing here is absolutely awesome. It's obviously had some repairs over the time. This was built in the 1st century, and it was used by the Romans as a lighthouse to light the way into the port. And it's pretty mental. I mean, it looks like it's sunk in here, but I'm betting that this wasn't here before and that's been built up. Although it is high in the air, so it would still shine up when that was set ablaze, allowing ships coming in with goods to trade, troops, and whatever, anything they were bringing in could be guided in safely into the port of Dover. Awesome stuff. So this is the church of St Mary in Castro, which I guess Castro means castle, and it was built about 1000 BC. It was ruined and then rebuilt again, and has been a garrison church for many centuries. It's a very impressive building. I'm really not into the religion thing, but they didn't know how to build a pretty church. That's pretty damn awesome, isn't it? Pretty damn awesome. So this is Peveril's Gate. pretty awesome stuff. And what a view, eh? See, I missed this yesterday. Awesome. Well, I bet the food's better here than it was in the Naffy up at Faz Lane and Rally. Noms time. Ploughed a passage through the foam, Dunkirk and Deal, Dieppe and Dover. I brought the flower of Britain home and took the fruit of freedom over. This is how it would have looked in 1874 with 3 10-inch guns. Then in 1905 the fire command post built in a central gun position. 1914 post-war signal station was built above the original fire control post, and then the fire control post was enlarged. 1941 concrete cover was placed over the top of the building, which is sort of how it is now. Pew pew. This would have been a pretty important place. And quite a scary one to be in. Bit of ship recognition, learning the silhouettes so you can identify what it is you see. Getting accurate bearing information. And these wonderful devices giving mega zoomage. Don't know if I can see through them or not. Don't know if you can see that or not. I see no ships. Clever stuff. Clever stuff. It's very well defended. But something coming in straight through the window would really mess up your day. So you've got your charts, so you'll be able to plot it all out. More ship recognition over there, little wireless, and the all important stove for a good cup of tea. Good cup of tea always helps with morale. This might just look like a spiral staircase, but it's not. It's a helical one or something like that with 2 threads. So you got this one here and that one there, and it allows you to have people coming up and people coming down, cutting congestion. Awesome. So I wasn't able to film while I was down in the underground hospital. It was quite impressive, although it wasn't really used as a hospital for very long. It was more of a barracks, effectively, for the most part of the World War II. But still very cool and an incredible feat of engineering. I'm hoping the wind isn't fucking this up. There's just so much here. It's absolutely amazing. Really, really incredible. So we've got Operation Dynamo, a rescue from Dunkirk down here. And again, I don't think I'm going to be able to film in there. So you might not get any information about that. Okay, so as I suspected, I'm not allowed to film inside the 2 tours, which is fine, that's fair enough. And I don't want to take away everything from this visit to stop you coming down here and having an explore yourself. Kind of guessing this one's an anti-aircraft, although there wasn't a sign there, but it's a big old beastie, isn't it? Big old beastie. What an absolutely awesome place. But that's been calling this visit a day. I've had to turn up on a second day to recapture all my audio as yeah, thanks GoPro. It's been blinding, absolutely blinding. As you can see, didn't come on the bike, just wanted to get my ass up here and retake the audio. I managed to get all the bike stuff recorded fine, so I'm cutting this into that to make it all make sense and stuff. But yeah, well worth a second visit. And in coming up here twice, I actually managed to see so much more that I hadn't seen already. So absolutely worth a second visit too. So if you've got a spare couple of days or even a day, pop over to Dover Castle. It's freaking fantastic. All right, catch you soon.
Gotta keep that bike rubber side down. You know, you gotta keep that bike rubber side down.